Hey, Jane.
Hey, good morning. Hang on, I can't see you because I'm trying to get us on YouTube.
Uh,
Ah, there we go.
yeah,
Oh God, I have a turtle this morning. It's almost scary. Good morning.
yeah.
How you doing? Okay,
Oh my goodness.
there we are.
Brian and Susan Lavender. I haven't seen them. Oh,
I,
well, this is gonna be fun.
oh, thank you for the endorsement.
Yeah.
No pressure now.
No, and if you get endorsement like that from Bob, you're doing very well. Trust me.
Nah,
He teaches,
And
they're wonderful.
and
I
your courses
know.
are wonderful too. He's an Ollie instructor for those of you who don't know.
Okay.
Oh, I did not know that, Bob. Hey, I'm learning new stuff every day.
Yeah, anytime you need a course on cosmology or paleontology, let me know. I'll be glad to do it for the Camera Club.
Okay. Oh yeah. I'll tell you what, it's time. So we have about 30 people here, and we already have about 10 people on YouTube. So we're floating pretty good. I'm going to just do this really quickly. I want to introduce everybody. I'm going to wave to folks. See, I'm going to introduce everybody to Brian and Susan Lavender. As you just heard us bantering back and forth, uh, Brian and Susan are multimedia specialists. If I had to pick anybody in the club who was my foremost expert on multimedia, they're the two I would go to immediately. I'd probably go
No,
to Susan first, but I won't tell Brian that. And
we are not the specialists. Everybody has a niche in
okay,
the camera club.
this is your niche, believe me.
I
But
think mine
anyway,
is a whole.
I'd appreciate if everybody, when we get started now, if you'll shut your mic and camera off, it makes everything flow smoother. And I'm going to turn it over. And also, I've turned the chat on the side. If you have a question, uh, you can turn your chat on down at the bottom and just type the question in. And somewhere near the end, we'll try and get them all answered the best we can. So, Brian, Susan, it's all yours.
Except that it does take bandwidth.
Yeah,
Okay.
it does. Okay. Hi, everyone. Well, first of all, we've got a lot of material to cover. We're going to try to keep moving along, and we're going to try to avoid, going off and chasing rabbits over out of sight over the hill. If we do, okay, but we'll get back to where we need to be eventually. Um, Jane's already taken care of the remarks about muting the mic. And if you keep your video feed off, then of course there's better bandwidth and the videos that we're going to be showing you will play better. If you have a question, you know where the little reactions button is on your screen, and there's a button on there that says raise hand. And
It's right there.
that'll pop up on our screen, and we know you have a question, and we'll get to you as soon as we get a break in the action. You can also type your questions in the chat box. We've got ours open, and we'll try to keep an eye on that. We've got a designated monitor.
She's here.
Sherry, yeah, Sherry's here. Wave, Sherry. Everybody's got their screens off. This is so weird. We're used to doing presentations in person, so this is a first for
Challenge.
us.
It's a challenge.
And we've had a lot of angst over getting ready for this thing. So bear with us. We're all learning. Got anything?
No.
No? Okay.
I,
We're going to start off with taking you to a place that you should have been by now when Jane sent out the invite for the course
wait a minute, it isn't closing.
to download the,
Nope, it isn't closing. There it is. Okay.
there we go, to download the student notes. I hope everybody has been to the Camera Club website by now. If not, this is what it looks like. And there's one SIG that's got a section now, and that's us. So let's go to educational resources. This is so weird not
Talking to a
having,
wall.
we're talking to ourselves here. Yeah, we don't know if people are doing this or this or what, but hopefully everybody's been here and had a chance to look at some of the educational resources. And if you go
Brian,
down to the bottom-
I copied all of it and sent it to them with an email. So
Okay,
they actually
good.
got a physical copy of it.
So everybody's got the intro to multimedia student notes. This is our outline. And as you notice, it's a little more than, just bullets. The reason that we do it in this kind of detail and volume is that so you can participate in the class by watching, talking to us. Hopefully we'll get some questions, and you don't have to work so hard to take notes during the class. That's the whole idea behind this.
But we're not going to read it.
Yeah. God, whenever we've all been in classes where the instructor puts a slide on the screen and then reads the slide to you. We have always loathed that approach to teaching. So we're not going to read the outline that you've already got to you. Sorry about that, but we're just not going to do it.
We're going to hit highlights
We're gonna
in the document, reinforce a
share.
couple of issues, and show examples to reinforce some of the ideas that we're trying to get across. And hopefully be somewhat entertaining while we're trying this.
The first place we'd like to go is what is multimedia? You've got those in the notes. Jane, did you show the short what is multimedia film at any point?
No, I didn't.
Okay, then that's the first thing you're going to get inflicted on you here.
You're already in share screen.
I'm already in. No, I'm not. We're right there.
Oh,
There we go.
I didn't realize. you
And
took it
there's
off.
that. Share.
Left. Intro to multimedia.
Yeah. Okay.
Have you ever asked?
Okay, where's the sound? Stop.
Forgot
You
to
see,
click
this
that little
is-
box.
Yeah, that's
No, it's
no, it
clicked.
says share sound.
Ah,
Okay, what's going on?
Just turn your volume up on your computer.
Click the little sound thingy on the left.
Let's try that. Yeah, it might be it.
We may blast them out, but
Okay, let's try it again. Let us know.
we'll know.
Is multimedia, and what can
Still
it do
not
for me?
Better.
Multimedia
can hear
can
that?
be many things.
Yes,
So
it's
take
okay.
a few minutes to talk about what it can be. First of all, it is not a Latin phrase that means many cables, many geeks, or many dollars. What it is a combination of one or more of the following. First of all is text, just the good old written word in one form or another. Next, we refer to anything consisting of sound, such as the spoken word or music, as audio. If you are responding to prompts on a computer screen like edpuzzle.com, we call that interactivity. Next, who among us has never seen a Pixar cartoon? They have mastered the art of animation. And be it either old film or new digital, if it's a moving picture, we call that video footage. Finally, does anyone in here ever take a photograph? Of course we do. So, when you put together two or more of these elements, you have a multimedia presentation, like the one you're watching now. Let's talk a minute about the hardware and software of multimedia. Yes, you can spend $50,000 and up on a single camera, but that really isn't necessary. Our members have used cell phones, point and shoots, DSLRs, camcorders, and more to make videos. Beyond that, it's nice to have a tripod, but even that isn't a hard and fast rule.
The code is more what you call guidelines than actual rules.
Software? There are several versions available for the Mac or PC that you can use, and they range from relatively simple to pretty complicated. All of these software packages are available in the Camera Club, and the club even offers training on some of them. If you want to have your own copy at home, the software ranges from free to, you better check with your significant other before breaking out the credit card.
All right.
So now you're ready to make a multimedia presentation. What do we do with these? Our SIG is working with the Camera Club to do educational videos. Several of us like to support local nonprofits with free video productions. We enjoy sharing our trips, projects, and vacations with each other, and these are not the typical vacation slideshow you suffered through as a kid. We also put together what we call gallery shows of our photographs, and we have fun looking at how other video makers do things. Yes, we really like learning from others. If you can dream up a video, you really can do it. Whether for friends or family, a Camera Club showtime, or travelogue, we enjoy sharing our stories.
Memories. You're talking about memories.
Why, yes. Yes, we are. So many photographs, so many video clips. There are so many ways to share them. But how do you get started? As we just mentioned, our Camera Club has all the tools you need, from computers to scanners and software to classes, plus the knowledge and support you can find in the SIGs. With these tools, you can turn those photos and videos, old or new, into something fun. So come join us on Thursday mornings. We'll look forward to seeing you in the Multimedia Special Interest Group.
Obviously, that needs updating. And if for no other reason, we've learned a bit about how to do sound since we put that video together. And here's where this setup is really weird. We have no idea what anybody's doing out there. We don't know if they're going yay like this, or if they're going, oh my God. So we'll press on here. That one took a little while to put together, if for no other reason than to find the clips. But if you're going to put together, now, again, the lack of face-to-face here hurts. We have no idea how many of you have actually done a multimedia presentation. How many of you work with video editors and do your own videos? We're going to assume some of you do. So some of these comments are going to be aimed at the people that are going, maybe that would be interesting. There's one down there, so I got a thumbs up, so at least one person's doing it. So these comments are aimed a lot at the folks that have not done this. And the key thing is start small, start simple. Don't shoot for the 10 commandments your first time out of the blocks. And we can't turn the camera around and show you the gear locker here. We're not going to. But don't rush out and buy really expensive stuff when you're going to start, because you may not need it, or there might be less expensive alternatives, shall we say.
And that's where using the club's resources will come in really handy. Talk to people. They'll gladly tell you what they think is the good products and the bad products and the why, and where to purchase these products. It's kind of a heads up on that. For example, if we're buying an expensive piece of camera equipment, and expensive sometimes can be $100, we choose a reputable dealer like B&H because they stand behind their product. I think you get a 90-day warranty or return
I think so.
or something like that. Where if you buy it on Amazon to save $20, you may find out afterwards that it's gray market or a counterfeit, and then you're out the money and the device no longer works. So
Yeah, there's been people that bought Nikon lenses on Amazon, and when something turned out to be not right about it, and they went to Nikon for the warranty fix, Nikon said, that's not our lens.
So use the camera club, use the resources there, but be ready to listen to them, respect their time.
Then audience and demographics, we can skip real fast across that. You're going to start small, but think about who you're doing your video for.
And tailor to that.
Yeah, main audiences for us, everybody in this meeting, friends and family, or maybe you're doing it for kids, a 4th grade class, in which case you're going to need furry animals and lots of pixie dust. Or are you doing a video for adults?
Travel time, show time.
Yeah, travel time, show time. That all of those things are going to affect. Audio is staticky.
Huh.
Gene, is that a fairly constant thing going on?
It's probably Zoom because everything else looks good over here.
Okay. The
Maybe if we talk more into the mic.
it's picking up. Totally went off the rails here.
Where were we? We're talking about audience demographics. Also keep in mind, what is their attention span? If if it's a 2-year-old, like I said, you better have a lot of gimmicks to keep them entertained, or plan to do 15 to 30 seconds. Also remember, what is your content? You're better off to go a shorter video and leave them wanting more than to do one where they're going, okay, when's this going to end? What do I need from the grocery store?
Yeah, it takes us right into the length of the video. And if you're starting out, we said start small, start simple. That means the length also. Don't try something 30 minutes long for your first video. And you know, Gene laughed at us the first time that we said this, but it's absolutely true. If you've got 2 or 3 minutes of really terrific material, don't pack it into 15 minutes worth of video. By that, I mean, cram in a bunch of stuff that's not so good. Think about what you're going, if you were going to give a personal photography show, you're going to hang photographs on the wall. Okay, you've got 6 great photographs. Are you going to hang a bunch of stuff up there that's out of focus, poor composition, the colors are wildly off balance? No, you're going to hang your best stuff up there. Same thing applies to a video. So don't pad all your really good stuff with stuff that, you know, if you really thought about it, you shouldn't be sticking out there. That's all we're going to say about that.
And you don't want to get a reputation for the wrong kind of reputation. You don't want to be that, oh man, Billy Bob is running another video, I'm not going to the meeting today. You want to be the, oh great, I don't know, come up with another name. John Smith is running a great video, we're going to go to the meeting. You want to be the one that has the shows people are looking forward to seeing.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they're all going to be good. We've got some that, well, they won't see the light of day anymore.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we showed one that was a work in progress early, and we knew it wasn't good at a SIG meeting a couple of weeks ago, and got a lot of, oh my God, that was terrible. And we knew it was terrible. Oh, well, it happens. But most of the stuff that we do let out of our grasp to show is we've worked on it. We bring the example of TED Talks in there. There's a correction to the student notes. They now go to 18 minutes. But still, at 18 minutes, if the guy looks like he's going to run over, then the host is starting to come up behind him like a shark and with a hook like the Gong Show to yank him off. You got a time limit. for things like Showtime and TED Talks, just because they gave you 20 minutes, doesn't mean you have to use 20 minutes.
Now, how am I going to know if my video is interesting or is the right length?
And that's where your test audiences come in. Test audiences are great, but you got to kind of educate them a little bit first. You do not want a test audience that sits there and goes, "Oh, that was lovely, dear." Come on, what are you really getting out of that? You want a test audience that's going to tell you, "I really liked it, and I liked it because," and then be able to list some reasons why they thought it was good. Conversely, if there's something they didn't like, they should be able to express that to you. "Oh, I didn't like it because half of the pictures were out of focus." Okay. And when you show a film to your test audience, it's really helpful if you set yourself where you can watch the audience and not the video that's been showing. Presumably you've seen that video before. But if you're watching the audience, then you can tell when they're going in the right places or in the right places, or you know what I mean? It's like this presentation. We have no idea what you're doing out there.
The only feedback we're getting is the sound, and
Crackles and statics.
some people are saying the
Static in
sound
your
is fine, which makes us think it might be some of these individual machines.
I can try turning that down a little.
Yeah, we'll try making one adjustment, see if that helps.
Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3. Don't know. Okay.
But now after your test audience has said, what are some of the questions you're going to want to ask?
Well, one question that we occasionally sneak up on our test audiences with is, after our video finishes, we ask them, "How long was that video?" Now, if you show a 7-minute video and you get the response, "Oh, that was about 4.5 minutes," that's a good thing. If you show a 4-minute video and they say, "Oh,
8.
about 8, 10 minutes maybe,"
You
that's
lost
a
them.
bad thing. But that doesn't work every time, because if they get used to you asking that question, you're going to see them click at the end, and yeah, that's cheating. You want an honest reaction to that.
And that's where you can use the multimedia SIG. If you come to them, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a finished video, let us know up front, this is a work in progress, I need your feedback, am I going in the right direction? But use the SIG. And be ready to listen to their criticism. If you don't understand it, ask for clarification. They'll give you the good and the bad. And from that, you can figure out what is working for you, what you need to change, or ask for help.
But we have found that sometimes people that show test videos don't have a thick enough skin to deal with the criticism. So we occasionally in the SIG have used kind of a scale of 1 to 10. If you ask for criticism at a level 1, you're going to get, "Oh, that was lovely, dear." If you ask for 10, yeah, okay, ready, here we come. And after 10 minutes or so, yeah, we'll cut the swinging body down from the tree. But
You will learn a lot of stuff.
the thing is that
Adjust it a little more.
focus.
There's still some
That
static.
adjustment. I'm going to turn it down just.
We're
a
still working
little.
on the sound. Let us keep letting us know how it's working.
Yeah. The thing is, we don't do malicious constructive criticism. The idea is constructive criticism. And nobody's going to be making fun of you. Nobody's going to be, I don't know, showing off or for whatever you want to call
they'll
it.
get called on that.
If you have something that needs comment in your video, you're going to get comment on that. And if you take it to heart, write it all down and take it home, really think about it and apply as applicable. Because to be honest, a lot of times we sometimes you're getting our opinion and other people may not agree with it. You're gonna have to pick the best of it and apply it as needed.
Okay, the adjustment you made it worse, so turn it back
Okay.
up.
What the heck?
The joys of Zoom.
Yeah.
Now, see, if this was a multimedia production, we could go away and y'all wouldn't have to suffer through this. We just fix it.
Yeah. Okay.
Barb, and she's here. Oh,
So-
look, she can't see her.
Yeah. So I don't know if she has gotten used to us doing this to her, but what we want to show you now is a sample of somebody that started small and started simple. She took one class and then went home, thought about it and applied it, and came back with a 3-minute video. So we're going to show that video to you.
And a sidelight, if I've got this correct, everything she does is on her iPhone. She takes her pictures on her iPhone. She edits on her iPhone. Yeah, pretty impressive.
Okay,
Sure.
share screen.
Clicked on.
Clicked on.
You didn't click on the blue button.
I didn't.
Oh, maybe you did.
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, Barb, we did it to you again. Folks, this is a terrific little video on many levels. We said, every frame a painting. If you're going to hang it on the wall, then it's appropriate to put in your video. Well, those pictures were terrific. The pacing was good. We have one question popped up. If you're from Jill Claver, if you're creating a video with stills, is there an ideal length of time for each still to be shown? We were going to get to that, but we'll answer it now while you're thinking about it. About 4 to 6 seconds for a typical still photo, unless there is a lot of information that you're going to address in that particular photo. You might need to talk about things that are all over the screen on it. It could be a panorama photo, one that is so wide that when you fill the screen top to bottom, it's hanging off the sides. Then you may want to pan across. Well, a wide enough photo, if you stick it on there for 4 seconds and you're going to go zip across, well, you might as well be in a car trying to watch the scenery going by. Then you can take longer, up to 8, 10, 12 seconds.
Depends on what it is.
Yeah.
A slide with narrative.
Yes. There's something else. Just never leave a slide or a photo on the screen for 20 or 30 seconds while you indulge yourself in some extended narration. Let's put it that way. But yeah, I hope that answered the question about video with stills. Video clips, it depends on what it is. And sometimes you want to keep things moving along. We'll come back to that. All right, organization of your video. You notice that Barb separated like elements into separate sections in there. That's almost like chapters in a book, and it can be used on a small scale like Barb did, or in a larger scale. We've seen some fairly long videos where the subject matter was grouped into chapters, and that's an effective technique. It works really well. Okay. Then I guess that takes us to organization. What we're going to show you right now is not something that most of you are going to do. You have to have a real masochistic streak to get to this level of stuff.
No, you start with, oh no, you are.
Yeah, I am. Come on, share screen, wake up. This is a written storyboard, and it's an actual one that we used for a promotional video we did for the Sarita Food Bank. If you look at this, the shot description, how long the shot is, we even did the types of transitions, cues for the music, the voiceover clips, and over here is just remarks. This video runs for 8 minutes and 7 seconds. Yahoo! You don't have to do this. It is a way of doing a storyboard.
In this case, it was beneficial because we were working for a client who primarily was made up of volunteers. So time was especially important, that we didn't waste anybody's time, and we needed to be as efficient as possible. And it,
Yeah,
there was another
to deal
form of
with
it.
the client, having that, you don't want to haul a computer around, but we could give them the storyboard in
long
written
form.
form, and it made it real easy to work with them.
It's like being a scribe.
Yeah,
And in another place, because a lot of times we were only going to have 1 or 2 small opportunities to work with some of these volunteers. So this gave us a chance to plan their time efficiently. We need to get this shot. We need to have this material or this equipment there with us. We only have this long to take the picture. So like I said, yeah, it was efficient. We didn't waste people's time, which keeps your client really happy.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Now,
wrong prop.
you do not have to do, like we said, anything that elaborate. So what we're going to do is introduce you to the way that Steven Spielberg does his storyboards. Spielberg
Spielberg.
actually storyboards his entire movies. And what we have here is a recreation of the very first storyboard frame for Saving Private Ryan. We're not kidding. Spielberg has famously said he draws stick figures and then hands it off to a real honest to goodness artist.
Go with your strengths.
Yeah, you go with your strengths. But here's the thing. If you're going to do a storyboard, you really don't have to go beyond the stick figure. If that's the level of your artistry, well, you just saw how well I draw, because you're not really showing that to anybody unless you do it as part of something like this.
Isn't there a class coming up on storyboarding?
Yeah. I don't know if Holly Torba is in the audience, but Holly does a terrific little class on story. And that's a good place also to start. So we've got you lined up to take Grace Pitzer's iMovie class. And just because it's iMovie doesn't mean that it doesn't apply to your software. The principles are very much the same. So we got you taking story and an iMovie.
One of the first places to start when you're starting to figure out, what am I going to do? What kind of material do you have to work with? Do you just have stills, or do you just have video, or do you have a mix of each? And how are you going to put those together? Part of getting that, deciding what you have to work with, maybe you don't have it and you find that there's something missing. Maximize your time. Take the gear that you need to get the best shot that you can get. What equipment would help with that?
Well,
that you don't have.
For still photography, you can get a good sharp photograph with faster shutter speed, maybe a little higher ISO. But when it comes to video, there's one thing that'll help your video instantly: a tripod. It can be a little bitty one like this, or it can be something far more elaborate. I know you've seen them. But if you don't have a tripod, there are ways to work with your camera that'll help you get a steady shot. Because, indulge me here. Would you rather see would you rather see a video that looks like this, or would you rather see one that looks like this? Okay. So here's.
Remember, you can use things that are around you also. Perhaps there's a rock that you can set the camera on, a stump, anything that will stabilize the camera. Sometimes out in the middle of the desert, all you've got is that cholla. You don't want to use that cholla.
Yeah.
Not more than once.
A strap is a terrific tool for getting steady video, because if you shorten it up and then push against it like that and lock your elbows to your side, that's pretty steady. If more people did it, we'd see less shaky video. All right.
Okay.
That had to happen. Where are we?
Next page. Okay, damn it.
Okay. I think you had a class on iPhone. Well, if it wasn't mentioned, we can't get by here without mentioning. We're going to give you a technique that is going to improve your cell phone produced video 50 to 100%. And that is shoot horizontal, please. Shoot in landscape mode. That's the way the screen is shaped. And it drives us nuts to watch vertical video.
Drives multimedia nuts, not just us.
Yeah. Okay, here's a comment from Jean. Holly will have one of the elective sessions for this class called Telling a Story. And there will be a date later, and you'll get a note when that date is figured out.
And much more information.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, sometimes when you're putting your video together, your multimedia production together, keep in mind that you've seen this material a lot, but perhaps I haven't. So is there something missing that would help explain your story better? Especially on vacation trips, when you're in a foreign country and you say, well, we went from point A to point B and it took us 6 hours or whatever, consider working with Google and getting a map out there showing us the route that perhaps the bus, the train, or whatever took. It's a visual that you can use. There's a number of graphics that you can use, illustrations.
We're going to show you a sample later on today of how to use Google Maps. That's a whole class in and of itself. That's a 1 hour class to really go into detail on it. Text. Please, whatever you do, choose fonts that can be read instantly. If you use an ornate font, people are not going to finish reading it before you've gone on to something else and it's gone away. So they will miss stuff. You have to leave it on the screen long enough for people to read it. There's lots of schools of thought about how long to do that. One of them is just read it aloud to yourself in a slow fashion, or read it fast, but do it twice. Well, you can avoid all of that if you use voiceover narration. That way people don't have to read it. You're telling it to them.
There still is a speed at narration. Don't go so fast that they can't understand what you're saying.
Yeah, you don't want to sound like Woody Woodpecker.
Yeah. If you do use text narration, usually erring or trending to the side of less is more. Just a place name. Don't start giving all the history of the place. That's where narration is even better.
Yeah.
Then you can keep the slides going while people are learning about what it is you're trying to get across.
Related to text is animation. And yes, you can get little plugins online of little furry creatures to plug into your thing, but if you're going to do that, do it in small doses, please.
Or remember your audience. Perhaps it's relevant to showing it to your grandkids or something along that line.
One thing to remember is animation. You've all seen examples of good animation and bad animation. Generally, unless you're a Pixar artist, keep it limited, please. Projects, big projects. We use a binder to keep track of.
That's not the binder. Sorry.
Yeah, that's
wrong binder.
We use a binder to keep track of the stuff, and all of that stuff there listed. That's for the big projects. If you're going to go there, we'll talk about it offline or in a SIG meeting. And now we get to audio. If there's anybody that does not believe Lucas when he says that sound and audio, the music and sound is 50% of the audience, I've got a suggestion for you. Rent a copy of Lawrence of Arabia. Start it running on your television and then turn off the sound and watch the whole thing, and then come back and argue that sound is not important. Okay. We've mentioned voiceover a couple of times. There's a lot of good reasons to use voiceover, not the least of which is it's a personal touch and it's a way to convey a lot more information in a much shorter period of time. How do you get that recording? Well, we've already showed the phone once. These actually make fairly decent little recorders, and there are ways to get the material off the phone and onto your computer to put into your timeline.
This could be a class in itself.
Yeah, this is
not a suggestion, Gene.
Yeah, we don't use a cell phone. We use a little recorder. This is the one that's mentioned in the student notes, I think. This is the Zoom H4n. It's been around a long time. It hasn't changed much at all in years because it's a really terrific little recorder. It records onto SD cards, which you can then take into your computer. It's got its own stereo microphones on top, but it's also got inputs on the bottom for XLR connections, so you can use external mics, high quality mics. This is for the price, what, about $200. This is pro level stuff. It's excellent. We highly recommend them.
A number of members of the Multimedia have been using this. A little funny story on this, things that you learn See all the time we're saving you? We're giving you all our oopses and our blurps and all that. We were doing for the food bank an important interview with somebody that had what, half an hour. That's it. That's all we were going to get of his time to get the message across. I was working sound that day. And I kept hearing something. So I'd stop, take off the headphone, didn't hear it, put it on the headphones and I'd hear it.
The headphones plug right into the recorder, so what you hear is what it
It's
hears.
what is going to show up in your video. And I finally asked him, I said, what's on the other side of the wall that's behind you? He thought about it and he goes, a restroom. Great. Every time you speak, somebody flushes a toilet, and that was going to be on our video. Yeah.
Oh, well. Yeah,
These things headphones are great.
yeah, you work around stuff. You can use a USB mic and record directly into your computer. They're starting to be all over the place, and they range from $20 on up to several hundred. We have started using a USB mic to record our stuff, and there it is.
It's the DJ mic.
Yeah, yeah. Think of it as the DJ mic. They have a different pickup pattern that allows you to isolate. It doesn't pick up the stuff around, just mostly what's right there close in front of it. They're terrific mics.
I'm going to stop you a second. We have a request that we type in the model. Type in for the Zoom H4n. Handy for noise is how I remember the H4n. There, it'll show up in the chat. Another thing while I'm talking about the chat, we can't see all the little, you guys are allocated about a 1.5 by 1.5 inch square. We can only see 5 on the screen, so that using the reactions, putting the little hand up isn't going to work. What we are seeing, I have the chat screen open. That's why you see my eyes flick over. Type in your questions and then I can get to them. Okay, we're on to, which mic are you on?
Okay.
The in-camera mic.
Now, in-camera mics. A lot of cameras have built-in microphones. There's a problem with that. Can you see those 2 little pinholes right above where it says D600?
Did you just call us pinholes?
No, it's little holes in the camera. That's your microphone in this camera. Those are terrible.
Yes.
They're horrible. So if you're going to use a DSLR, what you should do is, at the very least,
Or actually anything with a hot shoe.
yeah, is most of the camera manufacturers sell mics for their cameras. Come on, get in there.
Toys
For
don't perform
Pete's
on.
sake. There it is.
Except the camera.
Are you
now.
kidding me? At any rate,
Worked yesterday.
there. Okay.
It must be locked now.
Yeah, it must be locked down. I've got it on sideways. These little microphones actually work incredibly well. They plug right into the camera so that it's recording the audio right along with the video. It makes it a one-step process to get it into your computer to work on. What these little mics don't deal with very well is wind noise.
Here's an interesting,
And
interesting comment.
for the DSL mic to work. Yeah, somebody just commented that they have to, oh, it's Gene, they have to be within 6 feet for the DSLR mic to work.
That's pretty good.
That's actually pretty good. But we just don't use them. Anyway, back to these. They don't deal well with wind. Very few microphones do. So to block the wind noise but not affect the function of the mic, that's where you find the use of the dead mouse. It kills the wind noise to a great extent. If it gets strong enough wind, then no, it won't kill it. The other thing about mics, that little mic, that's called a shotgun mic, but it's it focuses what it's hearing right straight ahead of it. to get more focus and over longer distances, cut out more of the side noise, then you're going to want to get one that's a little bit longer. Now we're moving beyond really basic stuff. And this one really is horrible when it comes to wind noise. So instead of a dead mouse,
I hate these names.
you get a dead cat. This is what you see the news organizations poking in people's faces. Tell me, sir, what'd you think about this? Inside this big furry thing, that's what it looks like.
That was
And-
a rough sound. You gotta play a video.
okay. We're gonna show you how another way to deal with wind noise right now. So let's share screen. Got that on. Poof.
Down.
Yeah. Whoops. Let's just move that over. Okay. This clip is right out of the camera. That's pretty nasty, isn't it? You obviously would not want to use that in a video. And we've seen them used in videos like that and or heard them used in videos like that. And it's just ugly. You stop paying attention to the video and think about the noise. Well, here's a way to deal with it.
Much better.
Okay. That was a sound clip, and we found it on freesound.org. They've got clips of anything imaginable. All you have to do is get an account on it, which is real simple. They don't want a bunch of information, and you download them for free. If you got the horrible sound wind noise, fine, get rid of it and put in your own sound over that. That's called dubbing or Foley.
Or sometimes we actually go out with that H4n. We take it with us just to record the sound of the trees because it's a better microphone.
Yeah, we've got a little library on the hard drive somewhere of sounds that we've recorded. What was I going to say about that?
Well, we were going to the Foley, but I interrupted you.
Oh, Foley. Foley is sound that is produced in a studio. Here's where we say, show of hands, how many people have seen, was it Monty Python and the Holy Grail with the guy with the coconuts going on behind him? Clop, 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 clop. That's Foley sound. You can do Foley sound for wind. You get your microphone and you blow across the thing. There's actually some clips on Freesound of people that have done that, and some of them are pretty good at it.
I don't know if you want to go into the Audacity Fairlight.
Oh, yeah. Very briefly, for sound, to work with the sound a little bit, cut it, adjust it. There's a software that's free online. It's called Audacity. Most of the people in the Multimedia SIG have used it or still use it to some extent. If you want to spend a little money for something with more capability, something like Reaper works very well, and it's less than $100.
And if you want to spend a lot of money,
then you get yourself a subscription to Adobe and you get Audition. Yay. I love Audition.
you love Adobe.
Yeah, well, Adobe is a whole nother subject. And we are leaving Adobe and we're going over to DaVinci Resolve. And DaVinci Resolve has got its own version of sound processing software called Fairlight. And you're going to hear something a little later on today that was done in Fairlight. It's actually very good. And best of all, it's free. So, wind noise software.
Okay, so we've got our sound effects. The next thing to do to enhance your videos, you may want to consider adding music to it. it depends, that's a personal choice, but it can enhance your pictures. It can add to it. And the whole point of music is to set the tone. If you choose the wrong music, you're going to leave people either confused or they're going to think, wow, this is a funny moment, when actually it was pretty dramatic. Choosing music is not easy. It can be hard to find that one piece of music. We've been known to spend, I don't know, 3 weeks occasionally looking for a piece of music that is just perfect to get across what we want. But by the flip side of that is we might be watching a YouTube and we'll hear a piece of music. Wow, that's great. Let's see, I can envision using that for this type of video in the future. So we'll search that music down and we'll keep it. We've got a file of different pieces of music, what genre they are, little notes on where it might be helpful.
I think that music library is somewhere up around 15 gigabytes now.
Yeah, there is that.
On the notes there's a comment that music is hard. Barb, we're going to pick on you again. After a class in Multimedia SIG on music, Barb went away and came back, and that's a quote from Barb. Music's hard because if you start thinking about all that goes into matching your music to your video, it's a lot easier than, okay, I've got this terrific video, just plunk, drop. Yeah, I like this music, I'll use that. There's a lot more to it than that. And you can tell when somebody has put the effort into matching the music well to their video and when they haven't.
Her end result, the piece of music she found, is absolutely perfect. I'm not sure there would be a better piece of music for it. It was amazing. It just
That
it
was
worked.
for the one that she showed at the film festival on Dachau. She put 50 hours, I think she said, into finding that piece. Sometimes you get lucky and you get it faster. We're going to take you over to, let's back up just a second here. Comment from, it says Louis Genie. The Academy of Arts and Sciences has awards for Foley work, important for big film. It's incredible how much of what you hear in that big screen production was done in a back room with some guy with a pair of coconuts.
I think there was one comment
Okay.
before that. Here's
That's Freesound has Pixabay has free video clips. A little off.
that's Gene.
Okay, yeah. Let's we're gonna zip off to the website again. Under here, music resources. Here's a big discussion on the legality, the difference between fee sites and free sites. Here are some fee sites. This needs to be updated now. Kevin may be going to a fee structure soon. Yes, he still has an element of free to it, but he's also got some where now you're paying. And here's some places where you can go to pay for stuff. Check this page out in some detail. We're starting to run a little long.
A little long, yep.
Okay.
Are you going to show some common terminology, the video editor?
Yeah. Video editor screen clip. I'm going to show you a screen grab of some. Let's see if that works. There. Some of the terminology that we use, that first one where it says needle drops, these are the video tracks up here. This is a series of still photos. The line from one to the next is how long it's on the screen. I think these are about 5 seconds. This is the audio track. This is one song. This is the next song. This is a sample of somebody who really doesn't care about what he's doing with his music, because while this was displayed on the screen, his music stopped. Oh, I can fix that. So he grabs another chunk and just drops it on there. So here's Mary Had a Little Lamb followed by Beethoven's Fifth. but it changed in the middle of a thing. That's a little small picky point. It's something that drives us nuts in the multimedia SIG, and it's called a needle drop. Try to avoid that. At the very least, this change should have happened when the image was changing. Next, we have ducking. Here's the video tracks up above. Here's the audio tracks below. This big one is the music. These little blurps like this, that's the spoken narration. I know everybody here has watched something on television where the music is playing at the same volume as the person that's on screen talking, and you really can't understand what the person's saying. That's because they did not duck the music under the narration. See this line here? That's the volume level on the music. When the guy starts to talk, the volume ducks under the narration, comes up in, not in between, ducks under again, comes up, ducks under. Think of it as a low bridge. You know, you don't leave your head sticking up, you duck. This is to illustrate J cuts and L cuts. Here's the video up here. Here's the audio down here. The audio starts before the video. That is a J cut. At the end, the video stops, but the music keeps going. That's an L cut. It's a small, subtle approach to doing things that can lend a little bit to your...
Can lend a lot.
Yeah. Okay, how do I get out of this?
Go to stop.
Where? Uh-oh.
No, how do we get out of here?
What the heck?
Help. That's not it. All right, Jane. Nope, that's not it.
You should have a stop screen share button at the top of the page.
Yeah, we should, but we don't. Let me try moving that.
Okay. Can you just close the whole screen?
Yeah, maybe.
Try the escape key, see if that takes you.
Ah, there we go.
Oh, that was
Great.
just so easy. Thank you, Jane.
Thank you. Still don't see the...
Jane suggested that
There
for
it
us.
is.
It worked great.
There it is.
Thank you.
Okay, stop share.
Thank you, Jane.
Zoom is hard.
Sometimes I think these Zoom presentations are just a series of, what do they call them, bloopers? Just one after the other after the other.
Yeah. Okay.
Called learning by error.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to play that that last one we showed you with the J cuts and L cuts. We're going to play that for you. It's just about a minute. Open with LC Media Player. Stop.
Sorry.
We've got it on the wrong, it popped up on the wrong screen. So here it is.
Blooper number 97.
Yeah, we'll start it over. Okay, now listen for how the music comes in first and then the visual starts.
J-cut.
The visual stopped right before the
Music.
right before the music. One other thing we wanted to bring to your attention with that clip is Did you notice how the visuals changed at a point in the music? Not in the middle of a phrase, but at a point where there was some sort of emphasis in the music. We call this editing to the beat. That one didn't have a good, strong beat to it, so it's a little tougher to pick it out of there. What we're going to show you now is one that was intentionally and very pointedly edited to a beat. It runs for 3 minutes. Something else we want you to pick out of that, other than the fact that editing to the beat trains you in a way when you're going along to be able to expect the next one in a certain point.
Yeah, because basically the human brain, it's a, I forgot what I was going to say. Blooper number 99.
Yeah, it builds pathways.
It builds pathways. It's a creature of habit. If you do it consistently, like every 3 seconds, every 4 seconds, whatever you choose for your video, then the brain no longer has to worry about, okay, what's going to happen next? You'll find your audience is more relaxed because they don't have to anticipate when the picture's coming, it will happen. Before you get into that, you know, we're talking about, you've got these great videos. Before I forget to bring this up, you've done all this work. You've made these big expensive trips, or maybe not, but they were involved. You've got all this material. You've learned this piece of software. You've put in the effort. You've found that hard piece of music that's perfect for your video. Don't lose your work. What we tell people over and over again, back up your data multiple times. Usually I think the rule of thumb often is 3 times on different hard drives. Hard drives sometimes separate from your machine. Keep one of the hard drives off site, put it in a safe deposit box, give it to somebody else in the multimedia SIG. That covers you in case something happens to your house. Don't lose your work. The sad thing is, I can't remember the name, the guy that has the elephant head ponds, he's lost his work. There's a professional who's lost his work. That's sad.
Years.
He won't have a chance to make that up again.
When you're traveling, it becomes more of an issue to save your work. There are solutions. You can take a laptop with you and back it up onto the laptop, or you can get a little portable terabyte sized, and they make them bigger, drive that's for backup. You just plug the SD card into it and it automatically backs up the SD card.
And while we're on SD cards, when we're out in the field, we'll back up on this drive multiple times a day if necessary. We never delete those SD cards till we get home and we get to the laptop and we can verify the backup worked adequately. Do not delete. SD cards are cheap.
In the comments, real quick, going back to the videos, I like to how you use a Ken Burns type of movement on some, but not all of the stills. That's called a zoom. And
For PCs.
yeah, you're zooming in or out, and we're very sparing with that. We do not like gallery shows where it's zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom in. After a while, it becomes hard to pay attention to and appreciate the photograph. So our zooms, our movements, tend to be, our style is to be more subtle about it. That's all. All right.
Get ready to do software.
Yeah, let's.
This is a big topic.
Yeah, this is a real big topic, but most of it's written down. And for those of you that have not seen anything like this, we're going to show you real quick. This is the software we use. This is and
the new one for us.
This is the new one for us. It's DaVinci Resolve.
It's free.
Yeah. Oh boy, I'd hate to pay for this. Okay. Pay no attention to the way that this particular screen is laid out. What we're showing you here is common to many different kinds of editing software. The key element in this is right down here. This is the timeline. This is where you construct your entire video. And even the simple ones, iMovie, Windows Movie Maker, they all have a variation of this. This is all the visuals up here. This is all of the audio down here. A music track. This line here, you can see the ducking going on under some of this. These little markers down here, you'll see it when we get to it. We're going to show you this video in a little bit. That's markers for editing to the beat. There's text involved in it that gets laid on there. This is what's on the screen. We organize our stuff. You import your material into your editor and you store it in the editor. And we organize in the editor the same way we organize on our hard drive. The names match on all of these. Okay. Then effects. When you change from one slide or one clip of video to the next, if there's no special effect applied to it, it's called a jump cut. It just changes. It might fade in and out, or it might do a crossfade where the old one lingers as the new one comes on. And we think this is us talking, okay? There will be people that'll disagree with us, but one thing that we don't do is indulge ourselves in gimmicky effects.
But then our audience is different. Again,
Yeah.
it goes to who is your audience.
Here's a diamond iris or a triangle iris or a slide.
It can be used effectively.
But we have seen presentations where they used every one in the box. It's distracting. Think about it. You've put a lot of work into making that photograph. You want to take up, 2 or 3 of the seconds that it's on the screen with a tricky little visual where you're sprinkling pixie dust on it. That's just us. We don't do it. Okay, I really don't want to get bogged down on that screen.
So that was just one type of software. Why don't we go back to the multimedia page and show them the other?
Okay.
Don't race out there and buy software. This is where using the multimedia SIG is important. It gives you a chance to ask questions, find out who's using a piece of software. The last thing you want to do is buy it, or not buy, download a piece of software, or perhaps buy it when nobody else is using it. Who are you going to go to for help?
Look under software resources. There is a selection of the ones that keep coming up in the multimedia SIG. What it is, about what it costs, this changes periodically. SIG users, here's your local knowledge base on any particular piece of software, and a couple of remarks to maybe help you out with making a decision. In terms of knowledge base, something else that you will pop into real quick. Here's some places we've been and we recommend.
There are amazing tutorials out there. You will find instructors that work for you. If you don't like, go to YouTube and you pull up a tutorial and it doesn't make sense, choose somebody else. You'll find something that works for you. Come to Multimedia SIG and ask. Those of you that are using Apple and, well, that would be Mac products, iPhones and so forth, this Camera Club does have courses for it. Grace Pitzer teaches iMovie using your iPad. Holly is another resource to use because I think she's logged on too. The one thing Apple has done that PC doesn't have, Apple has a very good, very easy to use out of the box product, their iMovie.
Yeah.
PC used to, it was called Window Maker? No, Movie Maker.
Movie Maker.
It was Movie Maker.
They still have a kind of a version of Movie Maker built into their Photos app in Windows 10. Very limited capability, but it is possible to do a gallery show or even a video show. Just is not going to have all the capabilities that you get in some of the more advanced ones.
When we get past this COVID, rather than download a piece of software, decide you don't like it, download a piece of software and just clutter up your machine. When the COVID is over and we can get back into the Camera Club, many of those software products, all the big ones, and some of the little ones, are already loaded on the Camera Club's computers. Great place to go and try a lot of things out. It's better, try things out and ask questions.
Yeah. Okay. At this point,
one of the things so we get asked a question every once in a while, why doesn't the Camera Club teach classes on software?
Yeah.
There are some for the Apple side of things because Apple has kept their software, a lot of the iMovie is free and it's very static. It doesn't change. There's not a big learning curve every time they release an edition. On the PC side, there's huge packages. For example, Adobe, seems like every time we turn around, it's something different. Maybe you lost a capability, but you gained this capability. So you will find people who have multiple versions of Adobe products because, well, in 2014, it had this widget. And if they want to retain that, they have to keep all this loaded on their machine.
Too many products and they change too much to do a consistent class.
So since it has become too complicated to teach software, you'll hear us giving you a lot of terminology. We did some today. We did J cuts, L cuts, ducking, transitions. Those are common terms that you'll see and hear over and over again in software packages. So if we teach you the concept, you'll know what you can go Google to find information on.
And if you look at educational resources on the multimedia part of the web page, there's a glossary of terms down there.
Good place.
You can find terms that you'll never use on that glossary, but it was fun to put it together. Okay, are we ready to go to the last one?
Yep, we're ready.
Okay, we're going to play one more video for you. It's going to combine a lot of the things that we've talked about today. So as you're watching this, look at it. Is there a story there? The cuts, jump cuts, fade cuts, zooms, did we use them appropriately? Did we look for the ducking of the music under the narration, the use of text, and you'll find animated graphics in there. Don't look for them. Are there any J cuts and L cuts? I don't know. Editing to the beat, and what else can you find in this video? This one is version. Okay.
Oh, that's
Gene laughs at us a lot.
Especially yesterday.
Because we tend to be good word.
Critical of our own work.
Critical of our own work. What you're going to see here is a video that's been around a while. This is version 7G that you're going to see. It's a work in progress.
One thing I want bringing up versions. Do you still keep on? You still keep a lot of the versions, the ones that worked.
Yeah.
Once we come up with a working version that's a significant milestone or something, we don't delete that, because very often we get people coming and saying, I changed this and it doesn't work. And we say, but last week when you showed us that one, it was great. Can you just go back to that one? No, I threw my work away. We save a lot of versions. Do we have a lot of terabyte drives? Yep.
I need another one.
You bought a mic.
Let's see, a couple of quick questions here before we get going from Marilyn. How do you duck the music? Marilyn, we'll go into that in a multimedia SIG class.
Mm-hmm.
Then from Jane, don't downgrade PC, not going out to pay so much for a Mac.
Oh.
Neither are we. With all of this is done on a PC.
We're not downgrading
No.
PC. It's just, it's frustrating that Windows dropped a very good product. The Movie Maker was good. It was a good entry level.
I hated it when it went away.
And on entry level, some words of advice, we've had people say, I've read that 2,000-page manual 3 times and I still don't get it. Don't do that. Some of the best advice I got from one of my college professors was on technical things, don't read the manual, learn the terminology so that you know how to go look it up. It's going to change. So why memorize the book? Again, YouTube's talk to people.
Okay, we're going to show you the final video. It runs just over 6 minutes. We hope you like it.
Then you got to read that one.
Yeah, Gene says, real men don't read directions. Yeah, there's one of my favorite cartoons was Calvin and Hobbes, and they're putting together a model, and Hobbes asked Calvin, aren't you going to read the directions? This what? Do you think I'm a sissy? Anyway, here we go.
Moving on.
It's not sharing, you guys.
Oh, phooey.
It is a rare person who is.
Sorry about that.
It is a rare person who has never seen a photograph of Grand Canyon or visited there in person. The view most of us have seen is probably this one, from the South Rim's Grand Canyon Village, located here. Far fewer people visit the North Rim of the canyon, accessed via the Grand Canyon Highway from Jacob Lake on U.S. Highway 89A. This world-famous scenic byway runs south from Jacob Lake for 43 miles through the subalpine forests of the Kaibab Plateau. An unique feature of this drive is the montane grasslands it passes through. The largest of these is known as DeMott Park, home to the Kaibab herd of American bison. At the southern end of the highway and overlooking Bright Angel Canyon is the magnificent North Rim Lodge. More than 1,000 feet higher than the South Rim, it offers a much different view of Grand Canyon. You can even see the San Francisco peaks in the distance over 60 miles away. But if you want a view of the canyon that very few people ever see, you'll have to take a road far less traveled to one of the most remote places in the park that is accessible by automobile. It will take 26 miles of travel on remote dirt roads to reach the aptly named Point Sublime. This journey begins when you leave the paved Grand Canyon Highway, turning off onto Forest Service roads, which for the most part are fairly well groomed, if a little dusty. This is all part of Kaibab National Forest, a popular summer camping area. Even so, on our August trip, we saw very few people on this road. We saw no one at all once we crossed into the national park. Even on Google Earth, the roads are not clearly marked, and you'll need good route finding skills and a decent map or an actual GPS from this point on. Your cell phone map is useless here. A small sign and a threadbare fence with an open gate is all that marks the change from national forest to national park, along with a smaller and rougher road that is somewhat overgrown in places. Camping is very limited. Overnight stays in the backcountry require a permit and is restricted to a handful of places, so wildlife in the park was largely unconcerned by our presence. One exception was a solitary and very shy bison that we only glimpsed through the trees as he moved quickly away from the road. Closer to the canyon, the road improved and we began to pick up speed. It would take us just over 4 hours to cover those 26 miles to our destination. Was it worth it? Oh, yeah.
unmuted. Questions?
Yeah, questions. But before we get to questions, I want to remind everybody, especially anybody that might have shown up late, one of the first videos we showed on what is a multimedia. Multimedia SIG meets on Monday via Zoom at 10 p.m. or 10 in the morning. If you're interested, send Jean an email. We will.
No, if you're interested, just go online to the club's website and sign up for the Multimedia SIG, register for it. Then you get all the emails and all the information. Sherry Lucha has taken over running the Multimedia SIG. She's done the last couple weeks, and she'll be doing it in the future.
Thank you.
Okay. Put your videos on if
unmute those mics.
And unmute those mics. Any questions, comments?
We apologize for the audio.
No, I thought it was very nice. I had seen your Point Sublime video about 3 years ago, and you've really made some significant changes to it. You reduced the gimmicky Google Earth stuff, and or what I was perceiving that way, and I thought it really ran a lot better this time.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's one thing. We're planning to go back there because there are some things in there that we want to reshoot, and we're going to go do it.
We want to know about the course. Any comments on the course? Any questions that we didn't get to? Everybody can unmute if all those little squares are actually here.
No, they're all asleep. Listen, guys, you did very well. This Zoom is a wonderful thing, but you just accept its limitations.
It sure points out our limitations.
Yeah, well, no, it's everybody's.
It's a learning thing. Thank you to those of you that sent us comments. Those helped. The questions, that helped a lot. And actually, we're still needing to get.
You did a nice job looking at the camera, because so many people, when they're on Zoom, they're always looking down.
We've been nudging each other underneath the table here. You're not looking at the camera.
What made that easier to do is, I guess our frame was taking up most of the PC, so we'd see about 5 little black boxes up on the top of the screen. So it was either look at us or look at the little camera. When you've got all these 20, I want to look at them all. I want to talk to the people. That sounds weird.
This is still
Susan. I had you guys on what's called Spotlight, so the audience would always see the full screen with you guys, no matter if somebody talked or did anything. You were spotlighted through the whole video, so that's why you saw a little differently than what the viewers saw it.
It's very effective, Gene. Very effective.
Yeah, it works better when we're recording it to YouTube if we put you on Spotlight. I didn't tell you, so I'm sorry.
Some things I don't need to know. Let's see, what do we have?
Comments on, actually, this was a bit of a multimedia production because we have a 2-screen setup. We got 2 29-inch monitors here, and then the one on this side is the Zoom screen, and the other side we had all of this stuff, a lot of it pre-staged over there. How well did that work? Was it too clumsy? Any comments for that?
No, I thought it worked. The only limitations come up with Zoom, but by everybody shutting their camera off, the bandwidth was great. You had a mic problem in the beginning, and it most definitely was your microphone. I don't know what you guys did, wiggled it, kicked it or something. It cleared up later on. That wasn't.
I turned off the heater.
That's
the only thing that we changed. Brian messed with one knob. Somebody said too far. He put it back. It kept going. These mics, they're sensitive.
Yeah.
But yeah, great comments. I miss being able to do this in person. It's a whole different class when you've got instant feedback.
Yeah, now you see why all the teachers are complaining about not having a live classroom in most of schools. The Zoom works better than nothing, any of the visual things, but they definitely have their limitations, and it's a whole different style of teaching. You can go online and take whole courses on how to do it, but it's fun. I want to thank you guys. You did an absolutely beautiful job, and we truly appreciate it.
Before
And
we get
that's all
away,
I can say.
before we get away, Barb Woolard, turn your camera on.
Good job. Come on, Barb. Are you
Come
there?
on, turn your camera on.
Thank you.
Wave at everybody. Folks, this is Barb Woolard, another member of the Multimedia SIG, and she does
Hey,
great work.
hello, Barb.
Turn your mic on, Barb.
We want to see you.
There.
she is.
There
I
you
must
go.
say that the multimedia SIG has taught me so much in the few years I've attended. Doing the first one that was shown today was a little scary to present to this group, just because I was not used to doing that, putting it together. I have learned so much from the multimedia group and the people in that group, suggestions and critiquing my movies that I make. And I just cannot say enough for those people, and especially Susan and Brian, who have been very resourceful for me. So give it a try.
Thank you.
You don't have to, we don't expect you to necessarily only attend if you have a video. Some people never present a video. Some people have no intentions of ever creating a video. They enjoy the process, they enjoy the video, they enjoy the camaraderie. Try us. Bring us something. It doesn't have to be long. Sometimes somebody will show up and it's 15 seconds. They just want to know, does this work for what I'm trying to do?
Yeah. Pat Caniff brought some footage yesterday. He's starting to work with a drone, and he showed us what that looked like. So that was
fun.
That was interesting, and it was fun.
There's a lot of talent in that club.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Gene,
thank you
back
very
to
much, you guys. I'm going to let everybody go, say goodbye, and we'll double check. But honestly, we had about 45 people on live on Zoom, and probably another 10 or 12 live on Facebook. So nice attendance. And once again, we want to thank you guys. We truly appreciate. I'm going to close this down and let it off, and you guys